Mike's from Coffs Harbour and joins us. G'day, Mike.
Good afternoon, James.
Thank you very much for joining us. Why were you inspired to build a Batmobile?
Well, actually, it never crossed my mind originally. It's just that I cruise around in a black Trans Am, and being, the nature of the vehicle, it's a thumping muscle car, and it's long, and black, as I mentioned, and everyone called it the Batmobile.
Right.
Batmobile. You're the guy that drives the Batmobile. And basically where it started was a friend of mine approached me and said that his daughter is absolutely bat crazy, and she even wears bat socks and bat shoes. He asked me if I could, dress up as Batman and come to her party. And
you're a good sport if you said yes.
Well, no, I was horrified and I said no. And he said, of course, long story short, he talked me into it. So what I did was I went out and got myself a cheap suit, and I did the performance. And personally, I thought I looked
Hang on,
silly.
don't just gloss over that. I did the performance. What did you do?
Well, Batman doesn't just turn up, and he's not a man of idle chat, and he's a man of few words. So I was, scared to death. Trying to work out, I've got to try and be Batman. You got to, hold your head straight, talk the talk, walk the walk.
And you got to kind of have a tortured, imposing presence.
Yeah, unimpressed look, and everything else that goes with it. So I did the performance, and as I said, I thought it was a bit sketchy, and everyone loved it. It was the talk of town.
Nice.
Was going on about it, and then I had another chap turn up, and he said that his special needs son, he would love if I turned up. He's a Batman freak, etc. So I, and I thought, all right, look, if I'm going to do this again, I better get myself into a much better costume. So I did that, and I did the performance, and of course, it was the talk of town. Everyone lost their minds over it. And I didn't think much of it until people kept approaching me and saying, look, it's fantastic and we love it and we'd like you to do a Batman impression for us at, different shows and stuff. So I, special needs people and, and stuff like that.
And have you worked on the aura as well as the car?
Well, the car was a whole different thing because I was at the shows and I had a young boy came up to the cape, yanked on the cape, and he goes, "That's not the Batmobile." And of course the place went quiet, they're thinking, how's Batman going to answer this? Of course I turned around and said, oh, well, we're not fighting crime today. And I said, well, it's better than turning up in a Toyota Corolla.
Yes, sure is.
And no offence to anybody who owns a Toyota Corolla, and everyone, roared with laughter. And I said to him, well, why do you say that? He says, it doesn't have wings. And I thought to myself, you know what, the kid's right. And then, long story short, I just utilised all my efforts and contacts in the film industry and in the USA. And being a seasoned custom car builder and mechanic, I thought, you know what, I can do this. And here I am. 7 years later, I've built a replica of the Batmobile.
Wow, that's very impressive. And as I understand it, you didn't kind of have much of a love or affinity for Batman before this all started.
Oh, I always loved Batman, and I love all things machines and Batmobile. I mean, who doesn't like the Batmobile? I just love the Batmobile and all that. I just never envisioned of being a Batman impersonator, and it was just it was all from the Black Trans Am, basically. Yeah. So how things happen, in your life. Here I am, local working class mechanic, and before I know it, I'm doing Batman performances and
secret identity.
People they just love it, and it just brings so much pleasure to so many people. And I thought, well, why not? Why not?
So I understand you spent a chunk of money on the Batmobile. What specifically have you done to modify your car?
Well, it's a dead set Frankenstein. It's built with all different parts and vehicles. And most of it's fabricated by myself. I'm a good welder and a good fabricator, good thinker. And basically, with trial and error, sort of put it together. It was a turnkey start-finish project or vehicle 5 years ago, but I'm now working with the engineers closely and with RMS so that I can officially have it registered on the road.
Right, right. Well,
It
yeah,
hasn't-
I mean, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure in all the Batman movies, it's registered. Well, I don't know if it's registered, but he certainly drives it on the road.
Well, this is much better than the movie car in respect that it's got wipers and washers and air conditioning, air suspension, and I can confidently jump in the car and drive to Queensland or to Sydney today.
Yeah, except it's not registered.
Well, that's right. We're just
But on
going
the
for-
other hand, if you get pulled over, excuse me, sir, is this car registered? You can just say, don't you know who I am? If you got the hood on.
Oh, sure. As a matter of fact, I've already been pulled over by the police because I've had it from point A to point B for the purpose of registration. And the police officers pulled me over. What's he, Batman? Is he a clown? Of course, I was, well presented, and I was only going from point A to point B to comply. And of course, all my details were in order, and they just said, look, everything's in order here. And they said, do you mind if we take some photos of the Batmobile?
Yeah, of
And I
course.
said,
Everyone's a kid.
no worries. I said, do you mind if I take some photos of you taking photos of the Batmobile? And then there we were taking photos, and I was pretty nervous. I thought I was in trouble there. So,
Well, this roughly $100,000 you spent on the Batmobile, is that an investment or is that just hobby money that you wanted to spend because you enjoy it? Or do you make money back?
well, no, people come up and say, oh, you're going to make a fortune out of this, and it could further us from the truth. No, not at all.
Money
It's a
pit.
passion and it's a love. I would never get that money back. And the other thing too is I don't charge for performances, and I'm very respectful to Warner Brothers and DC Comics that I represent the character in the best form possible.
Well, on that, Mike, can you give us your Batman voice?
I could, but then you could go missing.
Okay, I understand. Yeah,
And he speaks with a more deeper voice.
right. That's good. Yeah, I like it. Well, look, Mike, good luck with it all. Thank you very much for telling us about it. A labour of love, and as you say, so fascinating that that it just came from this very, random event. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, lovely to talk to you, Mike Camilleri, talking about his alter ego, Batman, and the vehicle which he has created.
Yes, I'm a Batman lover. Some might have detected that I've got a Batman symbol on my Mini Cooper. I have. I'm a Batman freak. Not as freaky as my next guest. Forget Gotham City. The real Batcave might just be in Coffs Harbour. A mechanic by trade and a Cape Crusader by passion, Mike Camilleri has spent countless hours building a full-scale replica of the 1989 Batmobile. Mike and his Autocraft Machines team have built something extraordinary, and he joins me right now. Mike, welcome to the Super Radio Network.
Chris, good morning.
Listening through 2HC, I hope. It's good to have you with us. Let's start with the obvious. Why Batman?
Oh, I think he's the one character that's believable. He's a normal man, of course. In the movie world, he's a billionaire and he has the capabilities. In my case, I'm a working class man. I'm a mechanic, custom car builder, and I just love the whole concept of Batman and doing the right thing and fighting crime.
So, the fighting crime, that's great. But apart from the Batmobile, what other Bat memorabilia do you have, and how do you celebrate the symbol of Batman?
Well, I do have a bat cave.
Do you?
Yeah, love it. And I love the idea that you've got a bat symbol on your Mini Cooper.
Yeah. And my air freshener is a bat symbol too.
Of course it is.
Got a costume?
Yes. This is not something that I set out to do. I never fathomed myself ever playing the part as Batman. It all started with driving around in a black Trans Am, and everyone kept saying, that's the Batmobile. There's the Batmobile. And I just had a friend who came up and said that his daughter is a Batman freak, and could I just turn up in a bat suit and just do a performance for a birthday? And, my immediate response was, well, no. And anyway, long story short, he talked me into it. So I just went and got a cheap bat suit and did the performance. I thought I looked a little bit silly, actually. It ended up being the talk of town. Everyone loved it. And before long, I had another friend who turned up and said, mate, that was just fantastic. And I have a son who's a Batman freak. Could you do a performance? And I thought, oh, no, I've created a monster here. And I thought, well, look, all right. I then endeavoured to source myself a more authentic costume. Of course, I did the performance in the black Trans Am. And it went off very well.
I bet it did.
And it was the talk of town.
I bet it has been. How close is your replica Batmobile to the original Michael Keaton Batmobile?
Very close. It's the same size, longer than and larger than people realise. It's 6.6, around about 21, 22 feet long.
Can it have flames firing at the back?
Well, I can. I don't think that RMS are going to be too happy with turbine flames and machine guns.
Oh, well, but someone has to fight crime. A machine gun is fairly within the realms of possibility.
Well, that's right. It's a bit of a grey area, that. So in order not to jeopardise the compliance, I have eliminated the flame side of things at this stage anyway.
Right. Okay, for my Cruise FM 93.5 audience, Kempsey, Mid-North Coast, they've got a Wheels and Wine Festival next month. Will Batman be there?
He certainly will be in the Batmobile with Batgirl.
Batgirl as well?
Yes.
How did you manage to do that?
Oh, well, it all started with my daughter who was doing Batgirl, and it went off surprisingly well. We enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun, and so did everybody else. Of course, she's got older now. Now we have some good family friends and a family friend who does Batgirl, and it rounds it all off nicely.
Has anyone played Robin?
Yes.
Okay. So if Robin wanted to make a cameo, Robin could?
Well, Robin is in the female form.
Okay, that's okay. ROBYN. That's okay. For my listeners, as I say through Cruise FM, Sherwood Winery near Kempsey, next month, the Wheels and Wine Festival, and you can meet the Australian Batman and the Batmobile. That's fantastic. Yes. Good on you, mate. Mike, you have a fantastic time, and don't let anyone take the mickey out of you for being Batman.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much for that.
To the Batmobile. Let's go.